Goku closes his eyes. He goes quiet. The sound of his chewing stops as he recalls the events that have unfolded since his rebirth. Finally, he looks up. Okay, if that's how it is, then I know what to do. Lord Zalama, can I ask you for a wish? I want you to revive the nanomachines as a single mortal Tuffle entity. I want to finally have a real one-on-one with this guy. Goku clenches his fists. That's the only way I know how to resolve this. As Dragon God Zalama finishes explaining both the truth of his universe and the origin of Super Shenron, he tells Goku that as the one who is the next great sage, he is experiencing a set of trials by the multiverse. The first of which is to face his past. Goku nods, looks up at Zalama, and asks him to revive the nanomachines as a single mortal Tuffle entity, so that he can have a one-on-one fight with them.
I see. So a fight is still your answer. Interesting, but not a bad one.
Zalama looks amused. Goku's face lights up. So then you're gonna help me with this wish?
I'm afraid not,
Zalama responds immediately. Huh? Why not? Goku tilts his head in confusion.
Let's see. The Grand Priest is the one who erased the nanomachines. If I grant your wish, that'll be me undoing what he did. And for now, I don't want to be on that guy's bad side.
Zalama lets out a long sigh. Hearing this, Goku scratches his head in frustration. But if you won't help with this, how am I supposed to make things right?
Well, you can always ask Super Shenron, Zalama suggests with a small laugh. Though I doubt you'd be able to gather the Super Dragon Balls, and it wouldn't be fair if I told you their locations either.
Come on, don't be like that. I'll spar with you again if you help me out. Goku tries to strike a deal.
You say that, but you've already overplayed your hand. You brought them all to the Xeno Palace without thinking, and even now, do you have any idea what's going on back on planet Goku or even planet Earth? Just forget about the nanomachines. What happened to the Tuffles isn't your fault to begin with. This self-righteousness is getting annoying. You're trying to do too much.
Zalama looks at Goku with a serious expression on his face. It doesn't matter. The nanomachines acted because I brought the Saiyans back to life. It doesn't matter if it's my fault or not, because either way it's my responsibility. Goku clenches his fist.
Responsibility, huh? Do you also feel responsible for your mother's death?
Zalama asks a good question. Goku tries to say something, but he stops. He stays silent for about 10 seconds as he looks down at his feet and recalls what happened to his mother. Finally, he speaks up. Yeah, that's right. She is my mother, and she was used as a pawn by the nanomachines just to rile me up. Zalama stares him dead in the eye.
I know you're hung up on a lot of things, but your mother was never supposed to be in your life in the first place. Honestly, as much as people throughout history have used the Dragon Balls to revive their loved ones, I've never agreed with that line of thinking. The dead should stay dead. Bringing them back is a violation of the natural order of life and death. The fact of the matter is that both your mom and the nanomachines are now dead. So even if it wasn't for that Grand Priest, I wouldn't have granted your wish. It goes against my vibes. I mean, there's a reason why you never tried reviving your Grandpa Gohan, right?
Wait, that's just because Grandpa said he was happy in the afterlife, Goku responds immediately.
And what about now? You have your grandpa in your life. If something were to happen to him today, would you bring him back?
I'd respect his wish, Goku starts, but he stops himself. He looks up and continues. I don't know. At the very least, I'd like for him to be alive when I marry, and when I have my first child, and when I have my second child, and when I have my granddaughter.
You're too greedy.
Zalama sighs but softens his gaze.
Well, unlike your mother, your grandpa is in your life because you were reborn with all your memories. I won't criticize you for wanting him around, but if he dies, he dies. Don't bring him back.
Hearing this, Goku sweats slightly, but quickly regains his cool. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Even if I'm here, Grandpa is safe. I have reliable people in my life, Goku states with a half-nervous, half-relieved expression on his face. Zalama takes a long look at him.
Are you sure about that?
Goku smiles and nods. Then, without saying another word, Zalama waves his staff. Suddenly, a huge orb materializes and starts floating in front of them.
Look, Goku. See what's been going on while we've been inside here.
Zalama points toward the glowing light. The orb starts blinking and shows a number of Saiyans transformed into great apes. They're acting like brutes and just rampaging all across planet Goku. The Saiyans whose tails are wounded or cut off are running. They're trying desperately to avoid being crushed by the apes. What's going on? Why are they acting like this? The nanomachines aren't even there anymore, Goku shouts in disbelief.
Don't act so surprised. These people can no longer act normal, Zalama explains with a cold tone. Goku stares calmly. Then Zalama waves his staff once more. The orb starts blinking again. This time it shows a wounded dog bleeding on the ground. Wait, isn't that? Goku starts to speak, as the image of Hercule's dog B pops into his mind. The orb blinks again, and this time it shows Evil Boo fighting Good Boo. What happened? I don't understand. Why now? Goku is clearly very confused. You asked the Supreme Kais to split Boo's evil nature from him, right? Zalama asks. Yeah, but they started overthinking it, so I decided to just ask Shinron instead. But when I gathered the Dragon Balls and tried summoning him, things got complicated again. Shinron mentioned he could bring Piccolo back with all his memories, so I went with that. Goku rubs his neck and continues. Honestly, I was going to resolve the issue with Majin Buu eventually, but I still don't get it. Why did he suddenly become like this? In response to this, Zalama waves his hand casually. The orb blinks and changes the scene again. Young Hercule, Mr. Satan, is standing casually next to a fallen Saiyan envoy. He's patting his own butt and just aura farming. The orb zooms out and shows Majin Buu clapping while standing a few meters away from Hercule.
So cool! You are strong!
Buu cheers with a big smile. Woof woof! B barks happily. Hercule rubs his nose.
Haha, but I still have a long way to go. Buu, I know it was actually you who knocked him out by throwing a rock.
Then with a playful wink and a quick flick of his tongue, Buu giggles.
Oops, busted!
As Goku sees this, he recalls how baby Vegeta mentioned there was a Saiyan envoy on Earth. Did they send a Saiyan after my grandpa just to make me angry? Goku thinks out loud. The orb blinks once more. Buu, Hercule, and B are playing around and acting silly, when suddenly the Saiyan envoy regains consciousness. A minute later, as Buu and Hercule are looking up at a shooting star, he aims straight for Hercule and pulls the trigger. B notices the movement and jumps out of pure instinct. The poor dog ends up getting shot in Hercule's stead. Hercule's face goes white. He turns around after hearing the shot and sees B bleeding on the ground. Meanwhile, something inside Buu snaps. He blasts the Saiyan envoy instantly, and as he looks back at B, his evil half splits from him. As Goku watches this, Zalama points at the orb.
You understand, right? Right now, Evil Buu is going wild back on Earth. You don't have the luxury of worrying about those who are already dead. Forget the Tuffles. Go and do something about everything happening on Planet Goku and Planet Earth.
Goku lets out a quiet sigh. He then looks up at Zalama and declares with a confident smile on his face, I see what's going on, but I'm not worried. As I said, like always, I have people I can rely on. Seeing this, Zalama looks a bit surprised for a moment, but then he just sighs and starts to smile along with Goku. He waves his staff again. The orb blinks, and this time Super Saiyan Bardock can be seen knocking out the giant apes one by one. The orb blinks again, and it shows Orange Piccolo aura farming on Evil Buu.
To tell you the truth, what I showed you earlier wasn't the present. This is the present, Zalama reveals.
He then looks at Goku curiously.
But how did you know everything was fine?
As Zalama asks this, Goku recalls what happened on Planet Goku. How Piccolo and his father Bardock acted as his support so he could stay focused on the main problem. Both of them made sure the other Saiyans didn't interfere, and then Piccolo also immediately understood that Goku needed help to perform the fusion dance. Piccolo just knew. You know, since I was reborn, I used to think I had to do everything myself, but since I brought Piccolo back, I no longer have to think about everything. Goku looks at his hands, then back at the orb. When we were up against the nanomachines and baby Vegeta, Piccolo had my back. The same goes for Dad. Since they have my back with everything else that's going on, I'm gonna focus on the main thing. I'll fulfill my responsibility. I'll make things right.
Okay, I get it. You really need your one-on-one fight.
Zalama sighs. Oh, so you're finally ready to help? Goku beams with excitement.
No, I'm not going to grant your wish myself. However, I do find you interesting, Goku. So for the sake of my amusement, I'll bring one of my dragons here, and then you can ask the dragon yourself.
Zalama replies with a mysterious grin. Aha! Thank you so much! Goku bows like a disciplined martial artist.
All right, let's see. Shinron and Porunga will be in limbo for 10 years. Super Shinron has become a pillar of the multiverse, so I don't want to bring him to this domain. That leaves us with Demon Realm Porunga or Toronbo, the eternal dragon of the Cerealian Dragon Balls. But I don't like Neva, so we'll go with Toronbo, Zalama explains.
Oh, sounds complicated. But I'm okay with any of the dragons. Goku rubs the back of his head. Zalama waves his staff, and suddenly the eternal dragon Toronbo materializes in front of them. The moment he appears and catches sight of both Goku and Zalama, he turns pale.
Haha, what an adorable little dragon. Do you know who I am? Zalama asks playfully.
I don't know enough, but I can feel it in my soul that you and this boy next to you are the great sages.
Toronbo's voice trembles. Zalama smiles. Well, let's just leave it there.